There are many different fishing lines on the market, and one of the most popular amongst anglers to date is fluorocarbon. In this video, we're going to be discussing what it is, some of the benefits, and some of the disadvantages so you can walk away with a better understanding of when and where to use it. And we're starting right now. Hey you, this is me, A.D. Ross with Novi Outdoors, where we provide tips, tactics, and techniques for beginners who seek to make waves, blaze new trails, and become more efficient in the great outdoors. If you're new here, welcome. If you're returning, welcome back. So what is fluorocarbon? The scientific name is polyvinylidene, denefluoride, or denefluoride, depending on who you ask. But I'm going to include that down in the description because that's a tough one, and you're going to want to see that one in like writing and whatnot. So it's going to be down there in the description, so check it out. To take it a step further, I'm going to read a passage from one of the books that I suggested in a previous video. I'm going to leave a card up for that one, but it's the complete book of fishing knots, leaders, and lines by Lindsey Philpott. That one I will also include in the description, so take a look at that as well. So here we go on fluorocarbon. Fluorocarbon line, also known as PVDF, you know, that big word we just discussed, that's going to be in the description, deserves attention because it is popular with anglers who want strength and the ability for line to disappear in water. Fluoroline virtually invisibly disappears in water and are stronger than mono for a given diameter. They do not absorb water and neither lose nor gain strength when wet. Fluorocarbon lines are also monofilament construction, and while the material is somewhat stiffer than nylon, the knotting characteristics are essentially identical. So with all that being said, what are some of the benefits of fluorocarbon? Well, one is low visibility. So what that means is once that line goes in the water, it's really hard to see. It's hard for the angler to see. It's hard for the fish to see. So that's really great if you're trying to be stealth and sneak up on them fish with your lures and you want that line to disappear. Fluorocarbon's great for that. Now there's different types of fluorocarbon. There's like clear and there's like colored fluorocarbon. The colored one now is for you to see going into the water, but once it hits that water, it's gone, buddy. It is gone. Another benefit is the abrasion resistance. So if you're running this thing in thick cover or dragging it across the bottom, it's really resistant to abrasions, and that's going to be great for your line if you want to keep it intact. All right. Now the sensitivity is another benefit, which helps you detect like these little tiny bites from fish and or the structure that's on the bottom of the body of water that you're going to be fishing. So that's really great to have, is that sensitivity when choosing fluorocarbon line. Another benefit is the power. It takes a lot more to stretch fluorocarbon, whereas monofilament stretches pretty easy, okay? So when you're getting those good hook sets and you want it to give it a little tug without, having that stretch a little bit and maybe some head shakes that'll toss that bait right out of that fish's mouth, the fluorocarbon's a good one to have on your side. And lastly in this discussion for the benefits is the diameter. So with the invisibility factor in water, if you're going to use your cloak of invisibility when choosing fluorocarbon, you can increase the pound test that you're using because it does disappear. As with monofilament, the lighter you want to go is going to be better because it sometimes might spook the fish if they see that line in there. But with the fluorocarbon, you can increase the pound test, which gives you a lot more to work with. If you're pulling in some big old trophy fish, buddy, you're going to want that extra pound test, all right? Now on to the disadvantages of choosing fluorocarbon. The first one we got to mention here is the memory. So sometimes with line, they have what's called memory. So if it's sitting on your reel for a while, it's going to remember the turns that go around that reel. So when you go out and cast that line, it's going to have kind of like a turn in it, right? So it's going to retain that memory if it's sitting for a long period of time. Another what could be a disadvantage, kind of not really, is that it sinks. So fluorocarbon will sink as opposed to monofilament, which will actually float on top of the water. So if you're using top water lures or anything that needs to stay on top in the higher water columns, which we will cover in more videos as we progress in this process. You're not going to want to use fluorocarbon because it's going to pull that lure down, and it's going to detract from the action that you're trying to get from that top water lure. Finally, in the disadvantages column for fluorocarbon are going to be the knots. So we love knots, and with fluorocarbon you got to make sure you're using the appropriate knots because you don't want to lose fish by tying the wrong knot. And with fluorocarbon, you got to make sure you wet that line before you cinch it down, because a loose knot is a knot that's going to let you down and it's going to break your heart. So I personally like to use the uni knot, which was covered in another video. If you want to check that out, I'll include that in the description. Or what are suggested by some of these top line producing companies are the Palomar and the Trilene, both of which we have not covered yet on this channel, but we will, because we love knots. Now that we've discussed what fluorocarbon is, some of the benefits and some of the disadvantages, I want to know your thoughts. Have you used fluorocarbon in your approach to fishing? Why or why not? What are some questions that you have that we can discuss in the comments section? Let me know. As always, I appreciate you for stopping by, and remember, in the beginning, we all had to start somewhere. If you like the content depicted in this video, please go ahead and subscribe. Pick up some more of these videos that we're going to be putting out, because we love doing this stuff. And we love that you guys enjoy watching it. So we're going to keep on doing it just for you guys, because you mean the world to us, and we appreciate you for being here. We look forward to speaking with you again next time, and we hope to see you soon. Have a great day, everybody. Novi is out.